Hello, everybody. I'm back. So this next question, we will start off on part 1 as well on discrete and continuous, but it'll be our next question. So it'll be number 3. Let me get to it. There we go. Let me view. So from the first one, we talked about this question 2 in our last video, and then we're going to work on number 3 with this big old graph. So for this graph, we can see of x values and our y values. The x's are the one that goes left to right, and the y values go from down to up. And we can label that. This will work. There we go. X and y. And then what I said from the last video are independent variables, or the ones who are independent from itself. Like you can have it just by itself, and you can find other values, so which is our x values, and there's nothing else to label this, so we could just name it x. And the dependent variables are the ones who are dependent upon the independent variable, so it's dependent upon the x, and so we can see that y is dependent upon x, or what it will be. So you can like that another y. And then for a function, we said that a function is when x values don't repeat, so it's only there once, and our y values can repeat. So we look on the graph, does our x values repeat? And yes, we can see 2 right here that our x values do repeat, and we see it again right here that x values do repeat, so it is not a function. So we just put not. And then our next one is discrete or continuous. And so from our last video, we can say that discrete is when it dots, and so we can just put 1 point and then pick up pencil 1 point again and then keep going on. While just continuous is everything, like you make a line and from one graph, 1 point to another point, and everything in the middle. But we can see from my graph here that there are some spaces in between and there's some dots, so we can say that this graph is discrete. Okay, and then our next one on the bottom is our domain range. And then our domain is the x values from left to right. So you can see right here, we can count that this dot right here is -3. We can see what our x values are. This one is -2. This one is -1. And this one right here is 1. And so how we put that into the domain is we go graph right here, bottom, and we label it from the smallest to the largest. It's -3, comma, -2, comma, -1, comma, and 1. And so it's only the x values that are in here that we count. And so we do the same thing for our range. And remember, our range is the y value. So you can see right here from where our y's are. And these 2 dots on the bottom are -2. And the reason why we don't count it again is because these dots, even though there's 2 of them, we still count as -2 because they're both on the -2 line, even though we just count it once. And so, and then this dot right here is on -1. And then this one right here is on 2. Therefore it's on 3. And then we go to 4. And that's what we did for the domain, we also have to do for the range. So we get our graph or line, parentheses, and we can write down -2, -1, 2, 3, and then 4. And that will be our range for this graph. So, and that's about it for that question. The other questions we have later will focus, we'll say the same things like these 2. So then you go like the same method that I do, and then you guys can answer the questions. Thank you guys. Bye.